Why you don't need expensive supplements after 65. What few doctors reveal. Have you ever stood in the supplement aisle of your local pharmacy, overwhelmed by the colorful bottles promising everything from better memory to stronger bones? I certainly have. Just last month, my dear friend Martha, who recently celebrated her 70th birthday, called me in a state of confusion. She had just returned from her doctor's appointment, where she was told her vitamin D levels were slightly low. Before she knew it, she found herself staring at a wall of supplements, completely bewildered by the options and the prices. Some of these bottles cost more than my weekly grocery budget, she told me, her voice tinged with worry. Martha's experience isn't unique. Across America, seniors are spending billions of dollars annually on supplements they might not even need, often cutting into limited fixed incomes from Social Security or retirement savings. The supplement industry has become incredibly skilled at marketing directly to our age group, playing on our natural concerns about maintaining health as we grow older. They know just how to make us feel that if we're not taking their specific product, we're somehow being negligent about our health. Today I want to have an honest conversation about supplements after 65, what you actually need, what you probably don't, and how to save potentially hundreds of dollars every month while still maintaining optimal health. What I'm about to share with you isn't something you'll hear from the pharmaceutical companies or even from many healthcare providers who simply don't have the time to dive deeply into nutrition during your brief 15-minute appointment. Some of this information might surprise you, and it might even contradict what you've believed for years. But I promise that everything I share is backed by current scientific understanding and practical wisdom that could transform your approach to health and wellness in your golden years. Before we begin, I want to clarify something important. I'm not suggesting that all supplements are worthless or that no one benefits from them. There are specific situations where targeted supplementation makes perfect sense, and we'll discuss those circumstances. What I am suggesting is that the vast majority of seniors are overspending on supplements they don't need or taking formulations that aren't properly tailored to their individual needs. By the end of our time together, you'll understand which few supplements might be worth your money, which expensive ones you can likely skip entirely, and how to work with your healthcare provider to make the most informed decisions possible. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Most healthy older adults can get nearly all of their nutrients from a well-balanced diet, even on a limited budget. Take Harold, a 72-year-old retired postal worker from Minneapolis, who I met at a community health workshop last year. Harold had been spending over $200 monthly on various supplements, probiotics, fish oil, special senior formulas, and several others. His medicine cabinet looked like a miniature pharmacy. After learning more about evidence-based nutrition, Harold decided to work with a registered dietitian through his Medicare benefit. Together, they created a practical meal plan that emphasized nutrient-dense whole foods while respecting his budget constraints and food preferences. Within 3 months, Harold had reduced his supplement regimen to just vitamin D during Minnesota's dark winters and a basic multivitamin. "I'm saving almost $170 every month," he told me with a grin, "and my last blood work showed improvements across the board." Harold's experience highlights an essential truth. Our bodies are designed to extract nutrients from real food, not synthetic pills. The science behind this is fascinating. When we consume nutrients in whole foods, they come packaged with thousands of beneficial compounds that work synergistically. For instance, the vitamin C in an orange is accompanied by fiber, flavonoids, and other phytochemicals that enhance its absorption and effectiveness in ways that isolated vitamin C supplements simply cannot match. These complex interactions have evolved over millions of years as humans adapted to obtain nutrition from natural food sources. Our digestive systems and cellular machinery are optimized to process and utilize nutrients from whole foods, not isolated compounds manufactured in laboratories. This helps explain why study after study shows that people who get their nutrients primarily from diet have better health outcomes than those relying heavily on supplements, even when the nutrient amounts are technically the same on paper. Of course, there are legitimate circumstances where supplementation makes good sense, particularly for American seniors. Vitamin D is perhaps the most well-established example. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. Additionally, many seniors, especially in northern states like Michigan, Maine, or Washington, don't get adequate sun exposure year-round. Gladys, an 83-year-old grandmother from Portland, Oregon, discovered this firsthand. Despite being remarkably active and eating a nutrient-rich diet, her vitamin D levels remained stubbornly low until she began supplementation under her doctor's guidance. "I noticed the difference within weeks," she shared. "The chronic fatigue I had attributed to just getting older lifted, and even my persistent joint pain improved." Vitamin D supplementation is relatively inexpensive, often less than $10 for a 3-month supply, making it one of the few supplements with a genuinely favorable cost-benefit ratio for many seniors. Another situation where supplementation might be warranted involves vitamin B12. As we age, many of us produce less stomach acid, which can impair B12 absorption from food sources. Additionally, certain medications commonly prescribed to seniors, such as metformin for diabetes or proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, can further reduce B12 absorption. Norman, a 76-year-old retiree from Tampa, Florida, experienced this firsthand. After starting medication for acid reflux, he gradually developed tingling in his hands and feet, memory issues, and extreme fatigue, all classic symptoms of B12 deficiency that he and his doctor initially attributed to normal aging or possible early dementia. A simple blood test revealed severely low B12 levels. With appropriate supplementation, most of Norman's symptoms resolved within months. Like vitamin D, B12 supplements are generally inexpensive and, when genuinely needed, offer significant benefits. Now let's talk about what might be draining your wallet unnecessarily. Those specialty supplements marketed specifically to seniors with promises of supporting heart health, boosting immune function, or enhancing brain power. These products often come with premium price tags, sometimes costing $50, $60, or even more per month. What many people don't realize is that these marketing claims require very little scientific evidence. Under current regulations, supplement manufacturers don't need to prove their products actually deliver on these promises before putting them on shelves. They simply need to include a disclaimer stating that the FDA hasn't evaluated their claims. This regulatory framework creates a situation where seniors often pay premium prices for products with minimal evidence of effectiveness. Take memory-enhancing supplements, for example. Walk down any supplement aisle, and you'll find numerous products claiming to support cognitive function or brain health. These products typically contain ingredients like ginkgo biloba, phosphatidylserine, or various proprietary blends. What's rarely mentioned is that large, well-designed studies have repeatedly failed to show significant benefits from most of these ingredients. Mildred, a retired schoolteacher from Charlotte, North Carolina, had been spending nearly $75 monthly on a cognitive support supplement after becoming concerned about occasional forgetfulness. "My daughter finally convinced me to look at the actual research," Mildred told me. "I was shocked to discover how flimsy the evidence was, especially considering how much I was spending." After consulting with her doctor, Mildred discontinued the supplement and instead joined a community brain fitness program that cost less annually than 2 months of supplements. Not only has she maintained her cognitive function, but she's also gained new friends and social connections. Factors that research consistently shows are more important for brain health than most supplements. I'd like to pause here for a moment and check in with you. As I share these experiences and insights, I'm curious about your own supplement journey. Have you found yourself confused in the supplement aisle, wondering which products are worth your hard-earned money? Or perhaps you've had experiences, positive or negative, with supplements that have shaped your approach to health. Your comments not only enrich our community, but also help me create content more relevant to your needs. If you're finding value in these reflections, consider subscribing to our channel so you don't miss our upcoming videos about navigating health decisions in retirement. Now, let's continue exploring some more important aspects of this topic. Another category where seniors often overspend is on calcium supplements. For decades, we've been told that calcium supplements are essential for maintaining bone health as we age. While adequate calcium is indeed important, the latest research suggests that high-dose calcium supplements may not provide the benefits we once thought and might even carry certain risks. Walter, a retired engineer from Phoenix, Arizona, had been faithfully taking 1,500 milligrams of calcium supplements daily for years based on older recommendations. During a health review with a new doctor who stayed current with research, Walter learned that more recent studies suggest that excessive calcium supplementation might be associated with cardiovascular issues in some individuals. More importantly, he learned that his calcium-rich diet, including dairy products, fortified plant milks, leafy greens, and canned fish with bones, was likely providing adequate calcium already. After discussion with his doctor, Walter reduced his supplemental calcium and invested instead in weight-bearing exercise classes through his local AARP chapter, an approach that research shows more effectively supports bone health than calcium alone. This brings us to an essential point that few supplement manufacturers want you to know. For most nutrients, there's a ceiling effect beyond which additional amounts provide no benefit and may even cause harm. Our bodies have evolved sophisticated mechanisms for utilizing and regulating nutrient levels. When we flood our systems with megadoses of isolated vitamins or minerals, we're essentially overriding these natural regulatory processes. This explains why studies of high-dose antioxidant supplements have sometimes shown surprising negative outcomes, contrary to what we might expect. The balanced, moderate amounts of nutrients found in whole foods work with our body's natural mechanisms rather than against them. Let's talk about another category of supplements that seniors are frequently targeted for, those promising to ease joint pain. These products, often containing ingredients like glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, or turmeric, can be among the most expensive on the market. Beatrice, a 68-year-old retiree from Chicago with osteoarthritis in her knees, had been spending nearly $90 monthly on a premium joint supplement. "When I first started taking it, I was convinced it was helping," she explained. "But looking back, I realized that I had also started gentle water aerobics classes at the same time." After reading about the modest evidence supporting these supplements, Beatrice decided to experiment by discontinuing the supplement while maintaining her exercise program. "To my surprise, I didn't notice any difference in my pain levels," she said. "The exercise seems to be what really makes the difference for me." This isn't to say that no one benefits from joint supplements. Some people do report improvement, but rather that their effects are often modest compared to their cost, and evidence-based approaches like appropriate exercise often provide more reliable benefits. Something else worth considering is how supplement needs can vary dramatically between individuals. The standardized formulations sold in stores rarely account for this personalization. For example, while Gerald, a 77-year-old retired firefighter from Boston with a family history of macular degeneration, might benefit from an eye health supplement containing lutein and zeaxanthin, his wife Loretta, with no such risk factors, likely wouldn't see the same benefits. Similarly, someone taking certain medications might need to avoid specific supplements entirely due to potential interactions. This individualized aspect of supplementation is rarely addressed in marketing materials that suggest everyone over a certain age should take their product. Now, I'd like to share something that might sound controversial, but is supported by scientific consensus. The vast majority of detox or cleansing supplements marketed to seniors are, to put it bluntly, unnecessary at best and potentially harmful at worst. Our bodies come equipped with sophisticated detoxification systems centered primarily in the liver and kidneys. These organs work around the clock to filter blood, neutralize harmful compounds, and eliminate waste products. For those with healthy organ function, these natural systems are remarkably effective without additional support from supplements. Agnes, a retired nurse from San Diego, admitted she had spent hundreds of dollars on various cleansing supplements over the years. "Looking back, I realized I was essentially paying for expensive urine," she laughed. "My kidneys were already doing the job these supplements claim to do." Instead of expensive detox products, Agnes now focuses on supporting her natural detoxification systems through adequate hydration, reasonable fiber intake, and regular physical activity, approaches backed by actual physiological science rather than marketing claims. This leads us to one of the most concerning aspects of the supplement industry: quality control issues. Unlike prescription medications, dietary supplements are not required to undergo rigorous testing before reaching market. Several independent analyses have found troubling inconsistencies in supplement content. Some products contain significantly more or less of their advertised ingredients than their labels claim, and some have even been found to contain unlisted ingredients or contaminants. Ernest, a 71-year-old retiree from Atlanta, learned this lesson the hard way when a bargain-priced supplement he purchased online was later recalled for containing undisclosed pharmaceutical ingredients. "I thought I was saving money," he shared, "but I ended up in the emergency room with an irregular heartbeat that my doctor believed was triggered by undisclosed stimulants in the product." If you do choose to take supplements, selecting products from reputable manufacturers that voluntarily submit to third-party testing organizations like USP, United States Pharmacopeia, or NSF International can reduce these risks. There's another factor rarely discussed in supplement marketing: the impact of other aspects of your lifestyle. The truth is that even the highest quality supplements cannot compensate for poor dietary choices, sedentary behavior, inadequate sleep, or chronic stress. Loretta, a vibrant 84-year-old from Denver, summed it up wonderfully when she said, "No pill can replace a walk in the sunshine or a good laugh with friends." Research consistently supports this wisdom, showing that basic lifestyle factors like physical activity, social connection, stress management, and adequate sleep have far more profound effects on health outcomes than most supplements. Yet these foundational health behaviors don't generate profits for corporations, so they receive far less marketing attention than supplements do. Let's talk about something practical that could save you money immediately: checking for supplement redundancy. Many seniors take multiple supplements without realizing they contain overlapping ingredients. Stanley, a 73-year-old from New Orleans, was surprised when he laid out all his supplements and realized he was taking vitamin D in 4 different products: his multivitamin, a bone health formula, a prostate support blend, and a separate vitamin D supplement. "No wonder my blood work showed my levels were too high," he remarked. "I was quadruple dosing without even realizing it." Taking some time to review all your supplement labels for overlapping ingredients can help you eliminate unnecessary duplications and potentially reduce your supplement costs substantially. I want to emphasize something important. The decision about supplements should be made in partnership with healthcare providers who know your specific health situation. This typically means your primary care physician and possibly a registered dietitian. Before starting any new supplement, it's wise to discuss it with these professionals, especially if you take prescription medications. Many people don't realize that even natural supplements can interact with medications in potentially dangerous ways. For example, St. John's wort can reduce the effectiveness of numerous medications, including some heart medications, antidepressants, birth control pills, and blood thinners. Similarly, high-dose vitamin E supplements can increase bleeding risk in people taking blood thinners. These interactions aren't theoretical. They happen regularly and sometimes with serious consequences. A practical approach that many savvy seniors have adopted is to request targeted blood testing before committing to supplement regimens. Mabel, a 75-year-old retired accountant from Kansas City, requested specific nutrient testing during her annual physical. "I was shocked to learn that despite all my concerns, the only nutrient I was actually low in was vitamin D," she told me. "I was able to stop taking several other supplements I had been using for years based on assumptions rather than data." This approach, testing before supplementing, can prevent you from spending money on supplements you don't need while ensuring you address actual deficiencies. Many Medicare plans cover nutrient testing when medically indicated, though coverage policies vary, so check with your specific plan. I hope the information I've shared so far has given you some valuable perspective on supplements after 65. We've covered a lot of ground, from the superior benefits of nutrients from whole foods to the few supplements that might genuinely benefit seniors, from the problems with quality control to the importance of checking for interactions and redundancies. But there's still more I'd like to explore with you, including specific strategies for maximizing nutrition without expensive supplements, how to evaluate supplement research critically, and some emerging science that's changing how we think about supplementation for seniors. Would you like me to continue with these additional insights that could further transform your approach to health and potentially save you hundreds of dollars each year? Great. I'm glad we can continue this important conversation. Let's briefly recap what we've discussed so far. We've established that while some targeted supplements like vitamin D and B12 may benefit many seniors, the majority of expensive specialty supplements lack strong evidence for their effectiveness. We've also talked about how nutrients from whole foods generally provide greater benefits than isolated supplements, how quality control issues plague the supplement industry, and the importance of checking for interactions with medications. Now, let's explore some additional considerations that could help you make even better decisions about supplements. One approach worth considering is food-first supplementation, using actual foods with exceptionally high nutrient density to address potential gaps. Raymond, a 69-year-old retired teacher from Seattle, was concerned about his omega-3 intake for heart health, but disliked taking fish oil supplements, which gave him unpleasant burps. Working with a dietitian, he incorporated small amounts of sardines into his diet twice weekly and regularly enjoyed walnuts and ground flax seeds. Not only did my omega-3 levels improve more than they had with supplements, Raymond shared, but I'm enjoying my food more and spending less. This food-first approach often provides nutrients in forms that are more bioavailable, easily used by the body, than isolated supplements, along with the thousands of beneficial compounds that accompany these nutrients in whole foods. Let's talk about another critical consideration: timing. Many seniors don't realize that aging changes how our bodies absorb and utilize different nutrients. For instance, the ability to absorb vitamin B12 from food typically decreases with age, but the ability to absorb the synthetic form found in supplements and fortified foods often remains intact. Similarly, calcium absorption tends to decline with age, but splitting calcium supplements into smaller doses taken with meals can improve absorption significantly. Edna, a 79-year-old from Philadelphia who needed calcium supplementation due to severe osteoporosis, found that switching from a single large calcium dose to 3 smaller doses spread throughout the day not only improved her calcium levels, but also eliminated the constipation she had previously attributed to aging, rather than her supplement regimen. These kinds of timing adjustments rarely get mentioned in supplement marketing, but can make a significant difference in effectiveness. Here's something else rarely discussed: the importance of personalization based on your genetic background. Research increasingly shows that genetic variations can significantly influence how individuals respond to certain nutrients and supplements. Bernard, a 68-year-old retiree of Northern European descent, discovered through genetic testing that he had a common variant affecting vitamin D metabolism, explaining why he needed higher supplemental doses than typically recommended to maintain adequate levels. Conversely, his wife Hazel, with different genetic heritage, maintained excellent vitamin D status with minimal supplementation. While routine genetic testing for nutrient needs isn't yet standard practice, this emerging field of nutrigenomics highlights why standardized supplement recommendations often fall short. If you're interested in this personalized approach, some healthcare providers now specialize in functional medicine or personalized nutrition and may offer appropriate testing and individualized recommendations. Another consideration worth exploring is how different medication regimens affect supplement needs. Many prescription medications commonly taken by seniors can deplete specific nutrients or affect their absorption. For instance, long-term use of proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, for acid reflux can reduce absorption of vitamin B12, magnesium, calcium, and iron. Similarly, statin medications for cholesterol management can affect levels of coenzyme Q10, CoQ10. Howard, a 74-year-old from Richmond, Virginia, had been experiencing significant muscle pain while taking a statin medication. "My doctor never mentioned that the medication might be affecting my CoQ10 levels," Howard shared. After reading research on the topic, he discussed it with his cardiologist, who supported his decision to try CoQ10 supplementation. "The difference was remarkable," Howard reported. "I could continue taking my necessary heart medication without the debilitating muscle pain." This example illustrates why supplements sometimes make sense in specific situations, not as blanket recommendations for everyone, but as targeted interventions for particular circumstances. It's also worth considering seasonal variations in supplement needs. Many seniors find that their vitamin D levels fluctuate throughout the year, especially in areas with significant seasonal changes in sunlight. Geraldine, a 77-year-old living in Minneapolis, Minnesota, works with her doctor to adjust her vitamin D supplementation seasonally, taking a higher dose during the long northern winters and a reduced dose during summer months when she spends more time gardening outdoors. This seasonal approach acknowledges the dynamic nature of nutrient needs rather than the static, same-dose year-round approach typically recommended on supplement labels. It also often results in cost savings by avoiding unnecessary supplementation when natural sources are more abundant. Now, let's address something that many seniors find confusing: conflicting research about supplements. You've likely noticed that recommendations about supplements seem to change frequently, sometimes in contradictory ways. One year, a supplement is hailed as a miracle. The next year, studies suggest it's ineffective or even harmful. This confusing situation stems from several factors, including the challenges of studying nutrition in isolation from other lifestyle factors, the tendency to publicize preliminary research before confirmation, and sometimes industry influence on research. Leonard, a retired science teacher from Austin, was frustrated by these conflicting reports until he adopted a simple approach. I wait for scientific consensus rather than reacting to each new study, he explained. If multiple large, well-designed studies conducted by independent researchers consistently show benefits, then I might consider a supplement. Otherwise, I focus on proven approaches like eating plenty of vegetables and staying active. This measured approach can help you avoid the supplement roller coaster that many seniors find themselves riding. I'd like to share something particularly relevant for those on fixed incomes: the concept of nutritional triage. This approach involves identifying which nutrients are most critical for your specific health situation and focusing your resources there rather than trying to supplement everything. Blanche, a 72-year-old living on a limited Social Security income in Tucson, Arizona, worked with a community dietitian to identify her most important nutritional needs based on her health history, medication regimen, and dietary patterns. Together, they determined that vitamin D and magnesium were her priority nutrients, while she could obtain adequate amounts of other vitamins and minerals through careful food choices. Instead of spending $200 monthly on various supplements, I now spend $15 on 2 high-quality supplements and use the savings to buy better quality food, Blanche shared. My health has actually improved with this focused approach, and my budget has too. This strategy acknowledges the reality that most of us have limited resources and helps direct those resources where they'll provide the greatest benefit. There's another perspective worth considering: the value of investing in food quality versus supplements. Many seniors find that redirecting supplement money toward higher quality food yields better overall health outcomes. Clarence, a 79-year-old widower from Portland, Maine, had been spending over $120 monthly on various supplements marketed for heart health. After discussing this with his healthcare provider, he decided to experiment with redirecting that money toward more fresh produce, wild-caught fish, and other nutrient-dense foods. Within 3 months, my blood pressure had improved more than it had with the supplements, Clarence reported, and I'm enjoying my meals so much more. This approach recognizes that the matrix of nutrients and beneficial compounds in whole foods often provide synergistic effects that isolated supplements cannot replicate. One more consideration that many seniors find valuable is focusing on targeted supplements based on specific health concerns rather than general wellness formulas. Margaret, a 73-year-old with a family history of macular degeneration, an eye condition that can cause vision loss, consulted with her ophthalmologist about evidence-based approaches for eye health. Based on results from the age-related eye disease studies, AREDS, her doctor recommended a specific formulation containing lutein, zeaxanthin, zinc, and certain antioxidants, supplements with strong research support for her specific risk factors. Instead of taking general senior formulas with dozens of ingredients, I focus on this one targeted supplement with solid research behind it, Margaret explained. It costs less than what I was spending before, and I have greater confidence in its benefits for my particular situation. This targeted approach acknowledges that supplement needs vary significantly between individuals and that evidence strength varies dramatically between different supplement types. Now I'd like to address something that concerns many seniors: the potential interaction between supplements and the medications you may be taking. These interactions are far more common than most people realize. For instance, Vitamin K supplements, or even dramatically increased consumption of vitamin K-rich foods, can reduce the effectiveness of certain blood thinners, like warfarin. Similarly, calcium supplements can affect the absorption of certain antibiotics and thyroid medications. Albert, a 76-year-old from Nashville who takes multiple prescriptions for heart conditions, experienced this firsthand when his warfarin levels became dangerously unstable after he started a new supplement regimen. Neither my doctor nor my pharmacist had asked about supplements, Albert recalled. I didn't realize they could affect my prescriptions so dramatically. This experience highlights the importance of treating supplements as significant components of your healthcare regimen rather than casual additions. Always inform all your healthcare providers about any supplements you take, and consider asking your pharmacist to review potential interactions whenever you start a new supplement or medication. Let's consider one more practical approach: cycling supplements rather than taking them continuously. Some nutrients, particularly fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, can accumulate in body tissues over time. For certain supplements, periodic use rather than daily consumption may provide benefits while reducing both cost and any potential risk of accumulation. Gerald, an 81-year-old from Buffalo, New York, works with his doctor to check his vitamin D levels seasonally. I supplement more heavily during winter months when my levels tend to drop, then reduce or eliminate supplementation during summer when I'm outdoors more, Gerald explained. This approach keeps my levels in the optimal range year-round while saving me money and avoiding unnecessary supplementation. This cyclical approach acknowledges the dynamic nature of nutrient needs throughout the year and throughout life. As we begin to wrap up our discussion, I want to emphasize something important. Making informed decisions about supplements is ultimately about empowerment, not deprivation. The goal isn't to convince you that all supplements are worthless or that you should never take them. Rather, it's to help you approach supplement decisions with critical thinking, evidence-based information, and an understanding of your unique needs. This knowledge allows you to invest your health dollars wisely, whether that means selected targeted supplements that address specific needs, or redirecting supplement money toward other evidence-based approaches like improved food quality, social activities that support mental health, or physical activities that maintain strength and mobility. In conclusion, while the supplement industry would like us to believe that optimal health after 65 requires consuming numerous expensive products, the scientific evidence tells a different story. Most healthy seniors can meet most of their nutritional needs through a varied, nutrient-dense diet, with just a few targeted supplements like vitamin D or B12 when indicated by specific health conditions or blood testing. By approaching supplementation thoughtfully, checking for interactions and redundancies, focusing on quality over quantity, and working in partnership with knowledgeable healthcare providers, you can potentially save hundreds or even thousands of dollars annually while still supporting optimal health. I hope this discussion has provided valuable perspective as you navigate the often confusing world of supplements. I'm curious about your experiences. Have you found certain supplements particularly helpful or disappointing? Have you discovered practical approaches to maximizing nutrition without breaking the bank? Your comments not only enrich our community, but also help guide future discussions on topics that matter to you. If you found this information helpful, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and sharing it with friends or family members who might benefit from this perspective. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, I invite you to do so. We regularly discuss practical health topics relevant to this wonderful stage of life. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to our next conversation about navigating health and wellness with wisdom and financial prudence.